Welcome to 50 Ways to Succeed at Work, where you hear stuff about ways to succeed even the most well-intentioned colleagues, advisors, careers officers and HR departments may never get around to mentioning. This episode's called Ask Away. Be sure to ask enough questions and avoid the worst mistakes. When it comes to asking powerful questions, let's start with that pioneer of modern nursing, Florence Nightingale. She showed how just one question could bring about significant change. Nightingale lived and breathed mathematical practice. Statistics drove her actions, and in the 1850s she was sent out to Crimea, where a long and nasty war was in progress. She set about collecting her beloved numerical data. She counted the number of soldiers killed, injured, or diseased. She was relentlessly systematic, much like biologists who collect specimens of butterflies and fossils on field trips. When Nightingale returned to London in 1856, her mission was to reach the people who could put her reforms into practice: MPs, government officials, and army officers. Few of them had any statistical or scientific training. So Nightingale posed to them her powerful and memorable question. She asked,
"What do you think causes the most injuries to your soldiers at war?"
Naturally, they assumed it was from different forms of enemy fire. Using statistics and a clever circular graphic, Nightingale showed convincingly that the worst damage came from infections, poor healthcare, and the need to invest in proper medical support. Her questions and statistics worked and led to pioneering changes in how frontline battle staff were treated. It created a revolution in nursing care. Now let's think how this story can connect with your job and you asking questions at work. In my research, I've learnt that people have three significant concerns about asking questions at work. The first one's, what are the right questions to ask at work? The second one is, what questions should I ask on my first day at work? And thirdly, what questions should I ask my co-workers? So let's start with the right questions for you to ask at work. There are no stupid questions, no right or wrong ones, only more or less relevant ones. The first issue you might ask concerns your personal growth and development. For example, you might ask your new boss, supervisor or team leader,
"What projects can I work on to be more involved?"
Or,
"Can you help me create a personal development plan?"
Another question you could ask concerns communication.
Are there any aspects of our communication here that are not working?
Then there are specific challenges, roadblocks and concerns you might uncover, such as asking your senior colleague,
"What things make your job harder than it should be? How could I make a significant contribution? Who do I need to meet to help make a difference here?"
You'll also want to ask for feedback on your performance.
How am I doing? And how can I improve? When can we meet to discuss this?
And then there's company culture and your motivation.
How can you help to make me more satisfied at work?
What matters in how we work here?
What must I absolutely not do here?
And lastly, you could ask,
How can I support you, my manager? What can I do to make your job easier?
Now the second question people have when starting work or with limited work experience is, what should I ask on my very first day at work? You can probably think of scores of things to ask about, especially on your first day or week. But how about some of these?
What are your expectations for my work in the first 90 days?
When will I have evaluations and informal check-ins?
How can I share my ideas?
Can you tell me about the organisation's vision?
Is there a company vision statement or a set of core values?
What are my main objectives for my first week? And who do I report to?
What are my essential daily tasks?
And don't miss this one.
How do you measure success around here? The metrics.
How often do you want me to give you updates?
What are the expected work hours around here?
Finally, the third concern that I uncovered in my research is, what questions should I ask my co-workers? Your new colleagues may be busy, but most will gladly pause to answer your questions. Just make sure that you do your questioning when they're less busy, or fix a time when you can meet and talk. Your questions to co-workers might include,
What do I need to know about the organisation's culture?
Can I assist you with anything?
What's the organisation's biggest challenge?
What do you like best about working here?
What should I be reading about my role and the industry?
Can I join you for lunch?
How does team building happen around here?
Naturally, you have to be selective about which questions to ask. But these give you a broad picture of the sort you could ask in the early days of your job. Finally, never forget that one of the most typical failings of people starting a new job is not asking enough questions rather than too many. So what action am I proposing that you can take right away? Well, be willing to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness, so ask away. Prepare your questions so people can more easily offer relevant help. And finally, ask your questions when people are likely to be free and relaxed to spend time with you. And the takeaway from all of this? Asking for help is a simple, yet profound, unpredictable way to get what you want at work and in life. Failure to ask questions is all too common for people starting a new job, so be sure not to fall into that trap. Happy questioning. You've been listening to an episode of Andrew's 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. For more episodes, subscribe free to my regular weekly podcasts. You can catch up on past ones at the 50ways.site, where you can also become a foundation member with access to e-learning units, transcripts, further reading links, and the forum, where you can ask questions, share problems, and join a growing community of people who seriously want to succeed at work. Now there's a new book and an audio version called, you guessed it, 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. Buy it at Amazon or the 50ways.site. Unmissable. Thanks for listening, and bye for now until next week.